Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So we're continuing with our JavaScript here. So what I'm going to do is we have all this and we expect to get some kind of result, which is great, but we need a progress bar as well. So let's add a progress bar while we're at it. And then also we need some kind of validation. So what I'm going to do is just say, what do we do here? We can make another function called validate. So let's go down here and say validate, and let's put a function here. This one will receive all the inputs, and then yeah, something like that. Let's put a comma at the end. Now this should just return true or false. Return true. Let's start with return false. So it only returned true if everything went well. So let's do a loop. So we're looping through all the inputs to make sure that they have content. So let me just grab this for loop because it's exactly the same thing we're going to be doing. Actually, you know, we could kill two birds with one stone. Let's see, through this loop, instead of looping again, we could kill several birds with a one stone. Okay, let's see. What we can do at this point is, let's create an array with required. Yeah, that's what we call it. Required is equal to, like so. So in here we're going to put all the required fields. So let's do this. I'm going to say what's required. Maybe an image is not required, but a title is required. So let's duplicate a few times. Let's look for things here. The title is required. The slug is optional because, wait, what happened? Right. Okay, so actually the only compulsory thing is the title. Yeah, really, it's the title. Because if we have a title, we can use that to make a slug, which means it's a clickable page, and it can be empty, right? We don't actually need to put some content. Maybe we want to actually add dynamic data, and we don't have to put a description or keywords. These are for SEO, so these are optional as well. So really the title is the only thing. Even categories are not compulsory, so we can forget about all of this. We just need to look for one item, and that's it. So here we can, let's just grab one item. So I'm going to say if, since it's the only one, we could have used that method of validation if there was a lot to validate, but there isn't. So I'm going to say if document, or let me go over here instead. On this side, if we say if, let's say for example, inputs.name is equal to title, then we know we're dealing with a title here. Is equal to title, and dot value dot trim, so that we remove empty spaces, is equal to emptiness, like that. Then we should send an alert here and say a title is required. Boom. And then we have to return at this point. Let's exit the function. So let me put the opening and closing here for the if statement. Since there's more than one line, we need that. All right, so with that, we should be able to validate. So unfortunately, we don't need this function anymore. That's good enough. Now, what do we do with the alert information? Well, here what we can do is we say let obj, let's create an object because we expect some JSON data to be sent back. So we'll say object is equal to, let's use the JSON.parse to parse that result and turn it into an actual object. So we'll say if type of obj is equal to object. So if it's a valid object, then let's do some stuff here. Otherwise, if it isn't, let's just do a console.log to see what happened. So we'll say console.log the result because it failed to become a valid JSON object. All right, so hopefully to get here, because sometimes when this happens, it doesn't even move forward, but hopefully it will. This is just for now. We're going to remove this because we don't want to show our users these errors at all. But if errors do not happen, then everything is good. So what I expect is an alert of the message that was returned. So we're going to save that inside message like this. Object.message from the PHP side. And what else do we do? The other thing is we need to redirect the user. So first of all, though, we have to check whether this was a success or a failure. So we're going to say if obj.success, we'll make these objects there. Otherwise, if it's not successful, then we you know, we could check for success, or we could check if there are just any errors and then display them, right? So possible errors here are very few, so we can just use an alert. Either there's a message. Okay. Let's say if obj.errors .length. I don't know about objects. If they have length, let's just use success, right? So if obj not successful, let's say for, let's say loop for key in obj.errors. So we are looping there through the errors object, and every time we loop through that, we display at least one error. So obj.errors key, like that. Okay, so we just display these errors through an alert, and then if everything is good and things went well, we will redirect our window. Say window.location.href will be equal to, now we need to go somewhere here. Now the beauty of this is we can actually put direct PHP here, root, like that, right? That's because this works because by the time we get to our browser, PHP has already run, which means this will be an actual value. So that would actually work. Then we go to the admin section. Now here, instead of this, we can just use the vars admin route, like so, and close that, and you close that, right? Something like this. Also, we can duplicate this and put plugin route over here. Yep, these will be actual values. So we redirect if everything goes well. Otherwise, we display errors. Here we'll console.log if there's a server error that occurred. And this is just temporal. Okay, cool. So I think we are good to go here. One more thing is to add the progress bar. Let's do that again with an event listener. So I'm going to duplicate these guys here. Let's do this. Duplicate, yes. So we use the upload object. So xml.upload, what we are looking for is the progress. and we have to create a %. This is going to be e.loaded, which is the item that contains how many bytes have been loaded, divided by the e.total, and then multiply that by 100 to make a percentage. So I'm going to put those like that, and then say math.round to round it off. Now this was supposed to be outside this. Let's round it off here. Okay, cool. So we have a percentage. Now we need to grab our progress bar, right? So let's do a query selector real quick. Here we are looking for progress. Progress bar actually. So progress bar here dot style dot width. Is that correct? Yes. This is going to be equal to % plus the % itself. That will be the width. But we need to write the text as well. So we'll do inner HTML is equal to something like saving, I don't know. And then we add the percentage like that. Okay, cool. Now we don't need to query select this twice, even though it can be done. Let prog is equal to, so let's do that. That way here we can just use prog a few times. Alright, so that does that, but we need to have that progress bar active. So what we're gonna do is grab it over here, copy. The moment we start uploading, the moment upload is equal to true, we can actually set that to 0. Actually, maybe we can do that a little bit earlier, right about here. So progress bar, it's actually progress dot class list dot remove. We want to remove a class called display none from there, dnone. This will be progress, not progress bar, like that. Okay, cool. A lot of coding, but we haven't tested, so I've done this many times, so the code looks fine. If we have errors, they're going to be very few. Now let's go and add an actual progress bar, right? So let's see here, where can we add that? So it's better to add it just above the buttons here, because we know that's where the user is. So let's go down here, right there. Alright, so let's start with 0%. Let's go ahead and put some classes. And let's add some styles. And let's put a class here. And that's it. This is how you add a progress bar. Let's add some margin on the top and the bottom, just a little bit, like so. Very cool. All right. And then down here also, I forgot, when we do this, we should also reset everything, right? So let me reset. Actually, let me just grab this, copy. Let's put this over here. Boom. Prog. Yeah, here we are not really in a hurry because this is not inside a loop like the other thing. So maybe We don't have to do this. What am I trying to do? Okay, duplicate this a few times. I just wanted to copy this and put it here. Wait. Copy this, put it here. Maybe let's start with that. Boom. Let me copy this, put it here as well, and then show it. Boom. Okay. This, I don't want to use too many variables, so yep, this should work as intended. Very cool. Alrighty then, so time to test our stuff, right? So add user. If I go now to the add controller over here, I don't want it to do any of this stuff. So what I would do is just die over here and just echo something. So I'm going to say echo, we have succeeded. Something like that. Yep. Enough to show us something. So I will refresh the page. Oh, this is not supposed to show at all in the beginning. So let's get back here to the progress bar. Let's put that D none so it doesn't show up until we need it. So refresh, and now let me hit save. Oh no, it doesn't work. Let's go and look at the errors. Percent is not defined in submit. Oh, okay, my bad. These are the problems. So I'm not supposed to use percent here. Let me do this. It's supposed to be 0 over here, like that, because we are, oops, I ended up clicking the insert key instead. Okay, so that solves the problem. Any more issues? If I hit save, it says a title is required. Okay, good. We are getting somewhere. Let's give it a title and then hit save. Let's see what we get. Save, it says we have succeeded. Very, very cool. So now we go and fix the controller stuff on up so that we actually make an upload.